ho, 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 ho. Merry Christmas, HMR viewers. Welcome back to the extra special Christmas mini-series for Home Media Reviews. I got something special for you all for Christmas this year. It's a very violent, full of blood movie known as Violent Night. Not exactly the first thing that pops into people's heads when they think of Christmas classics. But you guys know me, I love ultra violence. RoboCop is one of my favorite films of all time, and that movie is nothing but over the top ultra violence. Well, RoboCop kind of also has a couple of other things thrown in there, like poignant social commentary and some really good science fiction elements, but for Violent Night, it's mostly just blood and gore. But tastefully. It's not like Terrifier or anything like that. This is a tasteful, bloody movie, okay? Let's not waste any time. Let's jump right into the history of Violent Night. So Violent Night hit theaters on December 2nd, 2022. A relatively modern movie. We're covering this mini-series on Home Media Reviews. This movie just turned 2 years old last week. That's crazy. Hope and I saw the trailer for this in front of another movie that we were seeing. I can't remember exactly which one it was, but we both looked at each other and said, we gotta see this because it looks amazing. And yeah, we were there opening weekend in 2022, and we loved it. We had a great time. On a budget of $20 million, Violent Night grossed $76.6 million. That's a sizable profit, even after you add in the marketing costs, which is usually double the film's budget. So $40 million was really the budget for Violent Night. You still made a decent amount there. Although I haven't heard any talk of a sequel to this film, which I really hope there isn't one, because this movie works perfectly as just a standalone adventure. We don't need a sequel where we explore the mythologies of Santa Claus and we catch up with the Lightstone family. We just let this movie exist by itself. January 24th, 2023 brings us the Blu-ray and DVD release of Violent Night. There were no exclusives for this. It was literally just your standard Blu-ray / DVD combo pack or a standard DVD pack. Notice something that I didn't say there. There was no 4K of Violent Night when this first came out. Universal, in its infinite wisdom, made the choice to not put out Violent Night on 4K because I guess it wasn't a huge hit at the box office for them. We've already talked about how it was a sizable profit, but they probably thought it was a small profit compared to what it could have made. So instead of going all out, they just give us a Blu-ray and DVD, which is fine. I mean, you don't really need a 4K for a movie like this. I don't feel like a 4K would drastically change my viewing experience of Violent Night. But then later on November 7th, 2023, Universal, they backpedaled. They gave us a 4K of Violent Night. Was it because the Blu-ray sold really well and they were like, hey, let's go ahead and put out the 4K so everyone can buy it again? Because it's now been proven that this movie can sell on physical media? I don't understand the strategy here. They pulled the same shit with The Black Phone, a little low-budget horror movie starring Ethan Hawke, and a couple of other films from back in 2022 and 2023. To this day, we still don't have a 4K here in the United States for Cocaine Bear. The UK got a Cocaine Bear 4K, but not us. That one I would like to experience on 4K. Cocaine Bear is hilarious. Unlike its initial release, Violent Night had an exclusive. Can you guess what the exclusive was? That's right, a Best Buy exclusive steelbook. I don't hate the poster on the original Violent Night Blu-ray cover. It's fine for what it's trying to depict, But I would argue the Steelbook cover is even more lazy. It's literally just David Harbour Santa sitting on a roof. While the packaging for a Steelbook should be the primary factor as to whether or not you buy it, the artwork is equally just as important. And this artwork just ain't doing it for me. It's just, man, I do not like this at all. There was no stylistic choice made. It's literally just a photo of David Harbour sitting on a roof. It just, no. This ain't it, Chief. As far as Violent Night goes, that's it. We got the initial theatrical run, the first Blu-ray, and DVD, and then the 4K. Universal has been acting like Violent Night doesn't exist anymore. Except with marketing their new film Love Hurts, because that is coming from the producer of both Nobody and Violent Night. But as far as physical media is concerned, Violent Night is basically dead in the water. That wraps up your history section. Let's move right along to the close-up. Alrighty everyone, here's your close-up look at Violent Night. We only have the Blu-ray to look at here. I did not pick up the 4K because of Universal's borderline scam tactics with, first, they put out the Blu-ray, they see if the Blu-ray sells, and then they're like, well, the Blu-ray sold pretty good, now let's put out a 4K. The Blu-ray disc logo up there at the top, Blu-ray plus DVD plus digital code. This useless moniker, collector's edition, even though there's nothing collector's edition about this release, it's just the standard Blu-ray. There's David Harbour as Santa Claus. He's got his candy cane lit up like a cigarette and a sledgehammer in his hand. And then we've got Violent Night down there at the bottom. This poster should tell you everything about what this movie is. The spine, Blu-ray plus DVD logo, the film's logo, Universal logo, and then the product number. The back has got some more screenshots from the film as well as a small blurb about it. Then you've got your bonus content down there at the bottom, a breakdown of how your digital copy works, cast and crew information, and technical specifications. On the inside, your DVD is red, which should look familiar to you from Jurassic Park. This isn't just red because there's a lot of blood in this movie. And then the Blu-ray is the Universal reflective gray, except now the little Blu-ray disc logo down here at the bottom is red instead of gray, so that's a nice touch. So that wraps things up for your close-up. Let's move right along to the menu tour. Alrighty everyone, here's your menu tour for Violent Night, starting off with the DVD. It looks very much like a Blu-ray menu, doesn't it? It's just in really low quality compared to Blu-ray. You've got play, chapters, setup, and your bonus content is just right over here on the main menu screen. So for bonus content, we have deleted and extended scenes, Quarrel and Kringle, Santa's Helpers, The Making of Violent Night, Deck the Halls with Brawls, and then a feature commentary with the director, Tommy Wirkola, producer Guy Danella, writer Pat Casey, and writer Josh Miller. So a pretty decent amount of bonus content for the DVD. I have a feeling, though, that this stuff is going to be on the Blu-ray, too, and there's not going to be anything exclusive to the Blu-ray, but we'll find that out later. Let's take a look at the chapters menu. So your chapters are in groups of 4. They've got numbers and screenshots. If we scroll down here to the bottom, we have 20 chapters, 19 if you don't count the credits. That's a decent amount. The movie runs a little under 2 hours. I think it's like an hour and 45 minutes, if I remember correctly. So 20 chapters isn't too bad. And then here's your setup menu for audio. We have an English 5.1 mix, Spanish 5.1, and French 5.1. We also have a descriptive video service mix. And then there's the feature commentary again there. And then let's take a look at subtitles. We have Chinese and Japanese, I believe, French, Spanish, and English. And here's the Blu-ray menu. Looks pretty similar to the DVD, doesn't it? Just now it's in HD. We have the same menu photo, the same logo and everything, and the same options down there at the bottom, chapters, setup. But now we have bonus, but your bonus is also off to the right here, so do we really need that tab? Deleted and extended scenes, Quarrel and Kringle, Making a Violent Night, Yeah, Deck the Halls with Brawls and then feature commentary. Yeah, there's nothing exclusive to the Blu-ray except the fact that it's in HD. That's a little disappointing. Let's take a look at chapters. Hey, look, same amount of chapters as on the DVD. Literally the same amount of chapters. That's wonderful. How about setup? Has anything changed in setup? Okay, we have 7.1 mixes for English and Spanish. French is still in 5.1 though. And then the descriptive video service is back again, and then another option to turn on the feature commentary. And for subtitles, we have English, Spanish, and French. So less subtitle options than on the DVD. I'm not surprised that there's not an exclusive featurette to the Blu-ray. It never said that on the back of the case. I don't know why I thought that was going to be a thing. Would have been nice, but it's also nice for DVD-only people. If you just bought this on DVD, you're not missing any of the featurettes. So that wraps up your menu tour. Let's go ahead and head on back and answer the 5 main questions as always. Alright, so we're back from the close-up. Now it's time to answer the 5 main questions as always. Number 1, where can you pick this product up? Definitely not in any big box store right now. Walmart would be your best bet if Universal put out a new copy of this, like a reprint run of the Blu-rays or something. But no, you really can only find this online. Number 2, is this product still being printed nowadays? Hell no, it's not. Number 3, should you pick this product up? From the moment I first saw the trailer, I knew that David Harbour was the perfect choice to play this version of Santa. I love this jaded and cynical take on the character that's completely done with the whole consumer mindset Christmas has taken on. The opening scene at the bar sets up Santa's character arc perfectly. The tone is established well, and you immediately know what kind of movie that you're in for. I sure hope that you ain't driving. I mostly steer, and the reindeer really do most of the work. Could have gone without the excessive vomit joke, though. That was disgusting. I get it, gross out humor. Most people think that's funny. I just kind of think that's gross. It's not really gross out humor per se for me. It's just, vomit. You know what they could have done to make it a bit more tasteful? After Santa throws up, they could have cut to the title sequence. Like, never show it hitting anybody, just, hey, look, Santa puked. The Lightstone family is the main focus of the movie, other than Santa, and this family reminds me of the family from Knives Out. The Thrombies, I believe, is who those characters were. Just the worst people on Earth. Jason, played by Alex Hassel, is somewhat honorable. He's definitely the one that we're supposed to care about the most, other than his daughter Trudy, played by Leah Brady. Great child performance from her. I instantly fell in love with this character and how she's portrayed. She's perfectly innocent when she starts talking with Santa later, and there are some really comedic moments with her. Okay, Trudy, I just need you to turn around and stick your fingers in your ears and sing Jingle Bells. What a transformation for Beverly D'Angelo. We just watched Christmas Vacation earlier this week, and it's so insane to see sweet Ellen talk about shitting in people's mouths and calling it chocolate. She plays Gertrude, the matriarch of this family who everybody sucks up to. I'm sure someone can relate to this, not sure why most families think that the older generations need to be sucked up to. Probably to get the most out of the will, which continues to support the idea that these are awful people. But then we move on to the best part of Violent Night. No, it's not David Harbour Santa, it's John Leguizamo as Mr. Scrooge. I love this guy. He's so charismatic and embodies this over-the-top villain performance. He's not a bad scrapper either. He takes out those guards pretty quick. It's bah humbug, motherfucker. It's time to steal Christmas. I really like the new interpretation of Santa's magic. It was really creative. How he doesn't actually, physically climb down the chimney. He teleports by touching his nose. His bag being basically an infinite portal to like almost a whole nother dimension is really cool. I like how he was reimagined. I thought it was a really cool idea. I like how all of his powers are reimagined here. And I love how throughout the whole movie, David Harbour's just like, Christmas magic. I still don't really understand how it works. Better to acknowledge that you don't know how this magic works rather than try to explain it and it not make any sense. Santa's also pretty scrappy too. He's not afraid to get down and dirty when it's necessary. Violent night, gory night, all is calm if anyone doesn't want to get shot in the fucking head. I love Leguizamo. He's so good here. He's like a more over-the-top version of Hans Gruber if Hans Gruber was like played for comedic effect. And if Gruber wasn't played by the fantastic Alan Rickman. Some more slight commentary on the state of childhood in the scene where Santa fights that guard in like the bar type area. Kids only want video games, and while it's played for laughs, it got me thinking about how kids don't play with toys as much as they did when I was growing up. I had Star Wars action figures, Spider-Man 3 action figures, and probably a few Transformers growing up, and I loved playing with all of them. Sure, I had some video games, but it didn't completely consume my entire kid life. It's a sad state of affairs to see Santa not pull out a Bespin Luke Skywalker or a Bumblebee from Transformers Rise of the Beast out of his bag. The way he kills that guard, though, is insane. The star gets stuck in the guy's eye and Santa just electrocutes him and lets his head burn while he's talking with Trudy. Holy shit, man, that's gold. As I said, this family is awful. They are so quick to sell Jason down the river when their lives are threatened. Poor guy gets his fingers broken because his sister's a huge coward. There's a very sweet scene between Santa and Trudy about halfway through the film that tells us a lot about Santa's backstory. We know why he's such a scrapper. Dude was a freaking Viking with a hammer named Skullcrusher. Badass. They also attempt to give some backstory to Leguizamo and the rest of his gang, but I prefer my villains here to be faceless and over the top, so I didn't care much for his forced backstory. Once Santa finds that sledgehammer, all hell breaks loose, and we get some glorious action scenes. I get immense joy from watching Santa brutally murder all of these guards, and I will never apologize for that. Trudy's booby traps were sadistic, man. The nail through the bottom of that guy's mouth, and he just keeps getting pelted with bowling balls and gets multiple nails stuck in his back and his head. Absolutely brutal. And her glue trick was pretty good too, with the girl and throwing the paint cans at her like in Home Alone. The rest of the movie is pretty much just action, and so now we're at the climax. It involves a lot of guns, a lot of blood, and a lot of Santa beating people up. Jason and his wife even make up by the end. Yeah, I forgot to mention, Jason has a wife here, or an estranged wife? Are they divorced? Or are they just separated? I can't remember if it's actually said in the movie or not. Leguizamo and Santa face off, and I love how the chimney power is used to kill off John Leguizamo. It's a perfect end to that over-the-top character. Speaking of character, there is not a lot of character development here for these Lightstones, and that's one of the main problems I have with Violent Night. I don't care about these people. They're awful. I should at least have some sympathy for some of these people, but I don't. I don't even care enough to tell you their names. I know that the son of Jason's sister is named Bertrude because they wanted to name their son after the mom of the family, but he's a boy, so they named him Bertrude. They just call him Bert throughout the whole movie. But Jason's sister, her idiot husband, and their idiot child, I hate all of them. And even Jason himself, there's not really a lot of stuff to latch onto with him. He's just kind of there, along with his estranged wife and his daughter. I mean, they're all there. It's a plot that's heavily reliant on convenience. It's not a huge deal. There's still a lot of good here, as we've talked about throughout the majority of this review portion. But I do have to throw in that little criticism there. The Lightstones, couldn't give more of a shit about even if I tried. Violent Night is a die-hard rip-off, through and through. But it's a unique one. Santa being the main focus, Leguizamo being absolutely insane, the family being a bunch of assholes that only care about themselves. It's a very fun experience. The violence is wonderfully over the top, and it even throws in a few emotional scenes with Trudy and Santa. Trudy's the only one here that gets any kind of character development, and aside from Santa, Trudy's the only one that actually kind of has an arc here. Some great performances throughout and some wonderfully brutal kills earns this a recommendation. I have my problems with the Lightstone family. If it wasn't for Trudy and the great performance from Leah Brady, probably wouldn't have liked this movie so much. There would have been a lot of good here, but probably wouldn't have liked it as much without that character. But yes, I recommend Violent Night. It's a very fun movie. You definitely should give it a watch. What's even better is if you sit the whole family down, you got Mom, Dad, Meemaw, Peepaw, Great Aunt Gladys, sit them all down and just have a fun night watching Violent Night together. Tell them it's a Christmas classic, and I'm sure your very Christian conservative 98-year-old Meemaw won't be offended by this at all. Nope, she'll love it. Number 4, where should you pick this product up? Well, this one's always hard when, I don't have any other recommendations other than online. Maybe it'll pop up in a Half Price Books at some point. I haven't seen one in my area, though. Pretty sure I bought mine, on a Black Friday sale, maybe? I can't remember when I got my copy, actually. It's been a while. Actually, it's been since last year, so that's sad. I don't remember when I got Violent Night. Someone in the comments will tell me. And number 5, what price should you pay? Well, for the Blu-ray, probably about $10-15 for that, especially if it comes with a slipcover. The slipcover prints of this went very quick. DVD, maybe $5-10 for that. The 4K, I didn't see a lot when it was brand new. I saw it a little bit, especially the 4K Steelbook. Nobody wanted that thing. I'd say probably closer to $20 for the 4K. If you really want it, though, I wouldn't go over $20 for it. Again, though, I don't see why you would need a 4K for this unless you really loved Violent Night and just wanted to watch it in the highest quality possible. The Blu-ray looks fine. It's 1080p. It's going to look great. It's a modern-day movie. It's going to look fantastic. So, did we really need a 4K for this? Not particularly. And that whole marketing strategy of let's put the Blu-ray out, see how it sells, then a few months later put out a 4K, so everyone who bought the Blu-ray has to then go and double dip, pay the same price or sometimes even more for the 4K. That's just stupid. Universal, stop doing that, please. Also, give us Cocaine Bear on 4K here in the States, because I'll buy that. I may be the only one, but I'll buy it. Well, folks, that wraps up your home media review for Violent Night. This one is definitely being added into my Christmas rotation for the rest of my life. This is a lot of fun and one that I will be watching every Christmas for a very long time. It's not a great movie, but it's a very fun one, and I think you'll have a good time if you just give it a chance. So next week, we are shifting gears entirely from a violent, bloody massacre of a movie to nice and sweet. Animated family film. Literally a family film. We're talking about Winnie the Pooh, A Very Merry Pooh Year. An HMR, I promise, probably close to 2 years ago now. I'm finally coming around to it. You guys know me, I love Pooh. This was right up my alley. I watched this a lot when I was younger on VHS, and it's been probably a decade since I last watched it in full. So I'm excited to go back. I hope that you all will join me for that next week. Thank you all so very much for watching. I will see you all then. Good night, everybody.